Welcome back to KNBR 680 AM Franchise Nation Sports Radio. I am your host, Andre Weingarten. This is Third and Long, and it is the bye week for the San Francisco 49ers. They currently sit at 5-2, a game behind, or a half game behind, the Seattle Seahawks for the divisional lead. Before we get any further into the show, it is time to have our regular on. He goes by Nate from Lombard Street. If you're new to the show, Nate calls in every single week, goes on a little bit of a rant, a tangent about someone on the team, about the coaching, something or other, and then we kind of break that down a little bit, and then we talk about the rest of the team. But he's a close friend of the show, so we always give him a few minutes of airtime. So Nate, what you got for us this week?
Tell you what, man, I don't know where we got this guy from, but I'm taking a look today at my man, Dre Kirkpatrick. Picks by Dre. I mean, forget beats by Dre. We ain't even talking about beats by Dre. They ain't even allowed in the NFL. We're talking about picks by Dre. I mean, this guy, Dre Kirkpatrick, might be the best cornerback to play in the league since Darrelle Revis. I mean, let's examine the two. I mean, when you throw the ball to Darrelle Revis, there are times he won't catch it. But when you throw the ball to my man Picks by Dre, I'm changing the channel because I'm just assuming that he's going to intercept it, probably with one hand. We're going to go to commercial break, and then we'll be back with the 49ers possession. He is a star. He's the best cornerback in the league this year. I don't know where Joe Montana is right now, but Andre, you know you're a smart guy. We need to get this dude a new contract, diddly-ack. We need to get this guy on this team for years to come. I mean, we got Darius Modes, and he's doing his little thing, diddly-ang, but we got to get Dre Kirkpatrick, Picks by Dre, a new contract to stay with the team. Otherwise, he probably going to go to New England, make the Patriots look good, and we'll be scratching our heads saying, gee, where did Dre Kirkpatrick go?
That was fantastic, Nate. Thank you very much. That was definitely interesting. And for the record, Dre Kirkpatrick signed a 4-year, $10.8 million deal with the team this offseason, so he won't be going anywhere anytime soon. I do agree, though, that he should get a contract extension at some point because he has been phenomenal. His ability to be a ball hawk cannot be understated, but we can't forget that for all the good plays he's made a lot of bad ones. He's been targeted very heavily, and his major flaw is that, well, basically, he gives up a lot of touchdowns. The team, it's not something to be stated too heavily, but he's given up not as many touchdowns as he has interceptions, but he's given up at least 4 or 5 on the season. And when he gives them up, I think the hardest part is that they don't look good. Touchdowns, and it's hard to watch sometimes in coverage. On the opposite side, though, Darius Motes has looked really good. I think something that needs to be done with him is that he's not making a lot of plays on the ball. He's really shadowing guys, and he's almost daring them to throw at him, but he's not making them pay for throwing at him. He's playing so tight that you don't want to target him, but teams are figuring out that he's not even trying to go after the ball. He's just trying to knock the ball out of the guy's hands after he has it, or prevent him from, getting near it, or, I guess, scaring away the teams. So he really has to step up because at a point, you're not fooling anybody in this league. Everyone will watch the tape and see that, hey, Darius Motes isn't getting his hands up to deflect these passes. He's not trying to intercept them. He's just shadowing, and you can't do that. So he's looked good. Tyler Gordon has been poor, but he's young and he's raw. We drafted him for his upside, the 49ers did, rather than what his immediate impact would be. He's still been better than anybody that we've had in that third cornerback role, and to be fair, you can't expect 3 guys to be great every single play. There's someone has to be thrown at some point. And while a lot of that time it's been Antoine Bethea or Eric Reed, when Tyler Gordon's on the field, he's been targeted pretty heavily, and it's expected. So I'm not going to say that I'm upset with the way that the team has played, because they've played very well. It's just they haven't done enough. They've done enough to win, but they haven't done enough to be decisive. And I think it starts with the safety play. While both safeties have looked very good in terms of their run-stopping ability, Eric Reid has looked lost as a free safety. And Antoine Bethea, who is pretty much our leader in tackles, that's not good. I think the biggest issue is that Bethea is cleaning up a lot of mistakes because Eric Reid is missing plays, that the rest of the defense is not playing up to par at times, especially in run defense. Even though we're not giving up a ton of yardage, it seems like Bethea is making a tremendous amount of plays all over the field, despite not being very good in coverage and not doing enough in the coverage game as a whole. So it's coming through. It's been reported a few times, but I'll reiterate it anyway, that going into next week, when the 49ers take on the Panthers to start a tremendously difficult stretch of road games, that they played 6 of their first 7 games at home to start the season off, and then obviously you know what that means, that 7 of their last 9 are going to come on the road, including a 4-game road trip starting with at Carolina, that it will be Eric Reid starting at strong safety, and Antoine Bethea will be the backup, along with Jimmy Ward starting at free safety. They're going to give Ward a chance because he's better in coverage, and they're going to move Reid over to strong safety to see if he can be more of that guy who's in the box towards the line of scrimmage, who can make plays a little bit man-to-man and avoid the zone coverage and the coverage bust that he seems to just keep having. It seems like his judgment just isn't good enough in those situations, and that's what they're going to do. So that's going to be a huge move. Bethea is going to be in for, in sub packages. He's going to have a role still. But you have to wonder if they're going to move him out of that spot already. Should they just consider putting in Jaquiski Tartt anyway? Tartt is someone who they drafted, who they are very high on, and Bethea's old. He's signed for a few more years, but he's on the wrong side of 30. Tartt is very young in his second season, and you kind of want to know what you have out of him. Now, I think the main reason that they're moving Reid over is they want to see if there's a reason to keep him after signing him to a 4-year extension on a relatively cheap deal. It was about $14 million over 4 years to keep him because he really hadn't played well, but they wanted to re-sign him early in case he had a great season, and he was willing to negotiate lower for that very reason, that he had not played all that well. But it'll be interesting to see if they want to keep Eric Reid beyond this season. If they like someone in the draft that they want to go after instead, they could always move Reid in the preseason. Or if there's someone in free agency that they'd like, either at free or strong safety, they could go in that direction and consider going with that person and Tartt, or with Reid and whomever they go after. So the team will be mixed up a little bit in that sense. Quinton Patton is going to be out for the game against Carolina, along with Joe Staley. Staley actually suffered an injury at this practice that you're watching right now, and he will not be starting. It looks like it'll be Alex Boone starting at the left tackle position, and they're going to put Wes Dorsey at left guard and keep Kilgore, Reeves, and Young on the center through right side. Patton injured his ankle in the first week of practice of the bye week, and Derwin Taylor, the 5th-round pick rookie out of Butler, who was cut during this preseason, who we picked up, won the starting spot for the slot wide receiver in practice. So make sure to keep an eye out for him. This is where the real season starts. 7 road games in their final 9. Is this young team good enough? We'll find out very shortly. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm Andre Weingarten. This was 3rd and Long, and the Panthers game will be tomorrow. Peace out. Franchise Nation Sports Radio.